Welcome, everybody, to the Merrimack Valley TMA's continuing bike education series, Four Steps to a Healthier and Greener You. Today's webinar is Spring Forward, Getting You and Your Bike Ready to Ride. The webinar is presented by Dave Ricca from the Pedal and Fools Mobile Bike Services. Dave has over 30 years experience in outdoor retail, and since 2017, he has been running the Pedaling Fools Mobile Bike Services. I'm sure many of you recognize Dave from any of the bike tune-ups that you may have participated in over last summer or this fall. And we plan actually to have more bike tune-ups in April, May, and June. So hopefully you'll keep your eye out for those bike tune-ups, which will be coming up, and sign up for a free bike tune-up courtesy of the TMA by Dave Ricca. Couple housekeeping things. I've muted everybody on this call. I will unmute you and you can mute yourselves just so that if you have any questions after the presentation, which we'd like to keep the questions until after the presentation, because hopefully Dave will answer any questions that you may have had along the way. But if not, we've saved a few minutes after the presentation for that as well. And so I will unmute you, and then if you guys can just mute yourselves, that would be helpful. And finally, just want to remind everybody as a little thank you for coming to today's webinar. We'll be providing everybody with a $5 Dunkin' Donuts gift card. And so now, without further ado, I will turn it over to Dave.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for that introduction, Andrea. I didn't realize I've been in the bike industry for that long. And everybody, thank you for taking the time out of your day to join us. We have a lot of information to go over today, so we're going to jump right into it and get started. And we are going to talk about some things that you can do to get your bike ready, you personally. We're going to start with that. So to start, you want to maybe create a little workspace if you have the available room in your living space or garage. You can see here we have somebody set up with, just a simple repair stand and some basic tools. Having a repair stand, if that's something that's you think you're going to do on a regular basis, is great because you can get the bike up off the ground. It makes it much easier to clean the bicycle and make any adjustments that you have to make on the bike. If we all remember, maybe when we were young, flipping our bike over and lubricating the chain, that's not really the most effective way to work ergonomically and kinetically. So talking about the tools you might need, it's really just basic tools, a set of screwdrivers, some metric Allen wrenches. Everything on a bicycle is metric. And then the first tool you should put in your toolbox, other than maybe a repair stand, is a tire pump. Get a good quality floor pump, something that you're going to get from a bike shop. Hopefully something with a metal barrel. The longer the barrel, the easier it is to get up the pressure. So smaller, lighter weight riders makes it easier. The pumps that you find at the box stores typically have very short barrels and they're plastic. So as you pump with them, the plastic heats up and it just isn't as efficient. So get a good quality tire pump. They're going to be $50-ish at a bike shop. And you're also helping support small business. Again, some things you can do on a regular basis at home. And again, going back to the tire pressure real quick, one thing I forgot is checking your tire pressure on a regular basis is really the best thing you can do to avoid getting a flat tire. On a road bicycle, you have a very small, we need to go back, Andrea, small volume of air, but a high pressure. On a hybrid or mountain bike, you have a large volume of air and a lower pressure. So that tire is not going to lose the air as quickly. The tires are porous like a balloon. They lose air naturally. So again, things you can do at home are cleaning and lubricating your bicycle. You have an open drivetrain, as you can see, your chain and derailleurs. That's your drivetrain, your gears. It's open and exposed to the elements. So things like water and dirt are gonna affect it and make it wear out quicker and make it so it doesn't perform as well. So clean the bicycle with some sort of something like Simple Green diluted in like a 3-to-1, and then use a bicycle specific lubricant. WD-40 is not a lubricant. Something like Tri-Flow, you can get at any of the local box stores or home improvement stores. Pedro's is a company out of Massachusetts that makes bicycle-specific lubricants and tools. And of course, Finish Line is the long-term manufacturer of bicycle-specific lubricants. And then the basic adjustments that you can do on a regular basis at home that you might have the confidence to perform are going to be something along the lines of adjusting your derailleurs if they come out of adjustment in between your annual service, or maybe adjusting your brake cable tension as the brake pads wear. And then if you feel like you want to do, some work on your bicycle at home, if that's the type of person you are, but you don't really have the confidence, or you don't necessarily want to buy or invest in all the tools and lubricants, just look around for your local bike cooperative. A lot of communities have them. They might be called a bicycle kitchen or something such as that. Locally, the ones that I'm familiar with are in Jamaica Plain. There's Bikes Not Bombs. They've been doing this for 50 plus years. Lowell, there's the Bike Connector, and in Manchester, New Hampshire is the Queen City Bike Collective. So in these instances, what you do is on a donation basis, you rent the repair stand, you rent repair time or stand time, and there's somebody on staff available. So if you have questions, a professional bike mechanic is going to be there to help you. And oftentimes they take over and do the repair for you. And then if you're also inclined to do the repairs yourself, but you want some more education and instruction, the Park Tool School is put together by Park Tool. They're the #1 manufacturer in bicycle-specific tools, and it's something that the bike shops can buy into, Pedal and Fools included, where you pay for instruction. You have a 2-hour, a 6-hour, and a 12-hour course. In the 12-hour course, you're literally going to learn everything you would need to know to get an entry-level position as a bike mechanic, if that was something you were interested in. All right, now we can go to the next slide. As we're talking about getting your bike ready, we're going to talk about some things. Those are all some things that you might feel comfortable doing. We're going to talk about some things that maybe you should leave to the professional. Your annual service every 100 hours-ish of bike use. This is a preventative maintenance cycle. They're going to do a very thorough job of checking all the components for wear. If you have electronic shifting, there's firmware updates from Shimano and SRAM that might need to be done. And then they're also going to get into replacing any worn parts. Sometimes you start replacing things like even a cassette, which are the gears on the back wheel of your bicycle. You need special tools. So you're starting to get into some bicycle specific tools that you may not have in a normal toolbox. And also you're getting into a skill set that's specific to the bicycle mechanic that you may not have familiarity with. So it may be better to have the repair shop replace parts. And then a lot of the components, such as your brakes and your suspension, have very specific cycles that the manufacturer recommends as far as bleeding the brakes and overhauling the suspension fork every 50 or 100 hours. There's cycles that by doing this as preventive maintenance, it will make your components last longer and work better over time. And as far as replacing the components, replacing the chain on a regular basis is like replacing the lubrication or the oil in your car. So the more frequently you do it, the less likely there is overhaul wear, and the longer your components will last. And chains are fairly inexpensive when compared to the other components. Your fit services. By fit for services, we mean you buy your bicycle off the shelf. It's like buying a suit or off the shelf. You need to be altered and adjusted to fit you. So the bike fit services that a professional shop will provide are going to adjust the seat height accurately, your position to your handlebars, your position from your drop from your saddle to your handlebars. So these things will all make your bike more comfortable to ride. And it's not just for road bikes, it's critical for people on hybrids as well. I've had people on their hybrid that couldn't ride their bicycle for more than 10 minutes without excruciating pain, and a simple saddle adjustment in the fore and aft position and the seat height made it so that they were riding and smiling like an 8-year-old, which is what we want when you're riding your bicycle. All right, we are ready for the next slide. And then as we're getting ready to ride in this spring, we also want to assess our level of fitness and are we ready? So the first thing you want to do is always check with your primary care physician to make sure there's no pre-existing conditions that'll prevent you from participating in a strenuous, activity such as cycling. Also, start slow and build. There are bicycle specific muscle groups as far as your sit muscles and your leg muscles that you don't use anywhere else but on your bicycle. So start with a 20-minute ride and build up to an hour. An hour and a half commute is a good distance. So you want to condition your muscles to riding that long, because if you just go out and ride 15 minutes all the time, when you go to ride that hour and a half, you're going to run out of energy and bulk. And then are there any special clothing that you're going to be needing? Well, not really. You can ride in your street clothes, certainly. Using the technical fabrics that we find in bike clothing will help transfer moisture, wicks the moisture away from you better, and then the shorts have padding, which makes it more comfortable. The one thing you want to really replace on a regular basis is your helmet. The bicycle industry recommends replacing your helmet every 3 to 5 years. That's probably a little soon. I think 5 to 7 years is a good life cycle for a helmet. And what happens is, and why you want to replace your helmet is, the helmet protects your head by absorbing and dispersing the energy around the shell of the helmet when you crash. So it basically, essentially, it breaks. And if it doesn't have, and as it ages, the bonding agent of the foam breaks down, so it won't disperse the energy properly. So every 5 to 7 years, get a new helmet, and they're pretty inexpensive. $40, you can get a good helmet. And any helmet, regardless of whether it's a $40 helmet or a $300 helmet, all pass the same safety inspections. So also, as you're getting ready to ride, plan your route now. There are some route softwares that you can, route planning softwares that you can use, like Zwift or Bike with GPS, Ride with GPS, and we're also putting together, and we're going to show you a little bit later in this presentation, through Community Connect, which is an app that the Merrimack Valley TMA provides, and you sign up through the website. So we're going to talk about that. And then also, just to back up a little bit, as you're getting started, check out your gym. If they have a resistance trainer or a stationary bike, get on that now and start doing your 20-minute rides now to help build up those sit muscles. So when you get the road, you'll be ready to go. All right, Andrew, I think we're ready for the next slide. And now we're going to start talking about some things you might want to consider, after you've talked about, assessed your bicycle and yourself in your own fitness. Think about, if you are going to bring your bicycle into a bike shop for your annual service, now until the end of March, I've seen, even on Facebook, a lot of local bike shops are still advertising their off-season winter service labor sales. So we're trying to encourage folks to get their bicycle tuned in the off-season when we're desperate for things to do. And then come springtime, come April, you'll be ready to ride. And once you get to April, those first, it's kind of a feeling in the bike and understanding in the bike industry, those first 2 70-degree days in spring, back to back, is when the phone starts going crazy. And come April, you'll be 2 weeks out or more. During COVID, there was shops that had an 8 to 12 week wait. So that means your bike's gonna be down for however long the bike shop has it. So plan ahead. So get it done now. And then also, if you're going to get it done in April, plan to, realize that it's going to have probably be in the bike shop for a couple of weeks. Another thing that you can take advantage of starting in April, the TMA, we're going to be doing our on-site tune-up specials again, as Andrea mentioned in the introduction. We're going to be coming to your place of work and or your residence center and providing a tune-up for you. You sign up through your email at work or through your residence center. So check your inbox. I know a lot of times they get overwhelmed. We get overwhelmed with emails. So look for that and sign up. It's a great perk and benefit that you have, that your place of work provides. And also in April, we're going to have the TMA Earth Month Challenge. Earth Day is in April, so we're going to take the whole month to celebrate. And in doing so, we are going to have you sign up for the Community Connect app, again, which we're going over in a few slides. And then you sign up anytime during the month of April, log 1 trip, and then you will get $20 worth of Amazon gift cards. And then in May, also, we're going to have, once you've signed up for the Community Connect app, May is National Bike Month. This is a national bike initiative, and we have the MVTMA Bike Week Challenge. So anytime during the week of, we're going to talk about that more in future slides, but anytime during that week, the Wet Bike Week Challenge, you log all of your trips, and we'll be having daily raffles for $25 gift cards. So again, we're going to go over that a little more detail in another slide. All right, now we're going to think about some more things to consider. Some things that you might want to consider for your bicycle. Some any special gear. We talked about a helmet. Yes, you definitely want to have a helmet. That's the one piece of gear you have to have. We understand that any fall from 6 feet is enough to do permanent brain damage, and I have personal experience of that with my father, where he fell outside a restaurant, and from that point forward in his life, he had permanent brain damage. So yes, please wear a helmet. Bottle cages. You need to hydrate while you're riding, especially as we get into the heat and humidity. You want to be drinking, a 20-ounce water bottle at minimum per hour. So most bicycles are going to have the ability to install 2 water bottle cages. So I encourage you to get 2 water bottles. They're inexpensive. You can also carry water with you. You can see the woman in the standing or with her bike on the train station there. The person has a backpack on. A lot of backpacks have a hydration sleeve where you can put a water bladder in the sleeve. Just encourage you not to use anything but water in the bladder. You can put energy drink in the water bottles because those are easily cleaned. But the bladders, when they're hoses, they get gummed up with the sugar. There's a lot of sugar in those energy drinks, and then you're going to get mold. So water only in your bladder, energy drinks in the water bottles. Your fenders on your bicycle. That's something that we don't tend to have as much on this side of the pond as you go to Europe, and there's fenders on most bicycles. They protect your clothing from foul weather. They also protect the bicycle and your drivetrain. As we mentioned, it's an open drivetrain, so inclement weather is going to be less likely to be cast onto the drivetrain if you have fenders. A frame and a seat bag. You can put a seat bag underneath the back of the rear seat, and that's where you typically would put your emergency kit on your bicycle. You want to carry a tube, some tire levers, some sort of an inflation device on your bicycle, and maybe a little emergency tool, because even if you don't know how to use the tools, either somebody you're riding with or somebody passing by may be able to assist you. And then oftentimes now people are putting a frame pack at the front of the bike by the handlebar. It's called a bento bag. It's a carryover from the triathlon world. And you put things in there that you want easy access to. A lot of them have a screen on the top where you can insert your phone with a touch capabilities. So you don't have to have anything on your handlebar. And it has a little bag where you can put your snacks and any kind of valuables or whatnot. So it's right there on the front of the bike where you can get at it. A rear rack and panniers is a combination. You can see again in some of these bicycle examples on the slide. The folks have a rack on the back of the bicycle and a grocery bag pannier. Well, if you're just starting out and you don't want to invest all this money, you could certainly start with a backpack and going to the store and seeing how you like doing your chores, your weekend chores, because we're going to encourage you to do that as well, not just ride the back, not just your commutes. But you're going to be limited as to what you can carry in your backpack. If you had to get a gallon of milk, for example, you couldn't put that in your backpack. You could put that in the grocery bag pannier and you effectively get it home. And then also putting the weight low on the bicycle makes the bicycle more stable. So weight, adding weight to your backpack up high in your back is going to make the bike more tippy. And it's not that expensive for grocery bag panniers. They're probably going to be $60 to $75 per, but it's basically a reusable grocery bag. You take it off the bike, you bring it in the store, you load it up, you put it back on your bike, you take it home. So you can get 2 bags of groceries on your bicycle. A bike computer. Well, again, that's not something you necessarily have to have, but it's good to track your training. Your smartphone has apps such as Strava that will sync with this Community Connect app that we're talking about. A lot of people use Strava so you can find other riders and other routes, and it's kind of a fun social interactive community. Also, there's a lot of smart bike computers that will access your phone. So while you're riding, you can get messages and answer the phone without having to have your phone out of your pocket. So you have your phone right there on your handlebar. As well, the smart computers will allow you to download GPX map files so you can get turn-by-turn instructions while you're riding. So your routes. So also in just a basic, simple wireless bike computer, they're maybe $50. It's just going to have a basic set of functions, your total distance, a trip distance, your ride time, that's going to stop and start as you ride, as well as a clock. And then maybe average speed as you're riding, it'll accumulate the average speed. Those are the basic functions you're going to want in the computer. All right, the next slide. We're going to talk about some upcoming events that we have going on at the TMA and why you might want to sign up for the Community Connect app that we're going to talk about. Again, we mentioned that April at the MBTMA is Earth Month. So if you sign up anytime for the Community Connect app that we're going to talk about next, anytime during the month of April, you will get an Amazon gift card. You don't even have to do anything other than sign up and you get a $10 Amazon gift card. If you log one sustainable trip during that the month of April, for example, I'm going to encourage you to pre-ride your route to work at least once to make sure there's no construction or debris or anything else in the road that's going to make you have to reroute your ride. Or maybe try, one of those trips to the weekend trips to the grocery store or going to the bank or the post office on your bicycle. Any trip 2 miles or less is as fast on a bicycle as it is in your car. That's a proven study. And that's when your car is least efficient. So using your bicycle for those little short trips is a great way to reduce your carbon footprint, that's another ride. I have an e-bike that I put, it's a cargo e-bike, and I put a rack on the back of it. I built it out like a flatbed pickup truck. I put 20 miles a week on that, just doing my local chores. And that's another workout. That's another ride. So again, if you log one sustainable trip during the month of April, you'll get a second Amazon gift card, $10 Amazon gift card. And also, starting in April, we're going to be doing our on-site Merrimack Valley TMA bicycle tune-up service events. Those are going to be starting April 10th, I believe. We have the first one. Andrea, where is that again? Remind me.
The first one right now is at Schneider Electric on April 10th, but we also have availability on April 3rd as well, which is the start date for the weekly tune-up events.
Yeah, so again, you're going to see an email coming from HR or whomever in your organization handles special events. It'll be coming into your inbox, and we encourage you to sign up. Again, that's a tune-up that you can get for your bicycle. Bike shops are going to charge anywhere from $100 to $150 for your annual service. So that's a perk that your business and or your residence center are providing for you by them being members of the TMA. So again, look for those and encourage you to sign up. And now we're going to talk about the Community Connect app. And this is where I'm going to take over for a little bit, Andrea. If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen so that folks can see what we have going on and how to sign up.
Okay, you're all set, Dave.
There we go. Can everybody see the home page of the Merrimack Valley TMA? I'm hoping.
Yep.
All right. So again, this is the home page of the Merrimack Valley TMA. If you have not been to their website, I would encourage you. And on that homepage, you can scroll down. There's a couple of ways you can get to the Community Connect app. This is the first way. If you've never been here and you want more information, we've got the homepage here talks about what we do, what they do, what the benefits of membership are, how we serve your community. And then down here, we have learn more about the Community Connect app. And if you click on that, it's going to bring you to this screen where tells you in more detail about the Community Connect app. And again, you scroll down here because we're just getting started, and you begin your process by signing up here. And as we fill out our information, you're gonna sign up for the Community Connect app.
You're signed in, Dave.
We're gonna go here. I can't see that. Oh, that's what the problem. Okay. Thank you. I couldn't see that portion of my screen. All right, so it's going to bring you here. I'm already a member, so it prompted me to brought me right to there. So if you are a member and you come to this screen, you can log in from here. But since we are showing you how to get started, we're going to have you sign up. You just fill out your very simple first name, last name, email, and create a password. Once you do these steps and launch this to the Community Connect,
can I just, once you do those steps, it'll say continue, and then it'll ask you for your home address and then your work address, and then it'll have a drop-down menu that will ask you what your network is, and that
Okay.
would be either your work site or your residential address, depending on if you're residential member, like say from the Slate residential complex, or if you're like a work site member from Schneider Electric or Pfizer or Putnam or whomever.
Sure, sure. It's been a while since I signed up. I forgot those details. Thank you. So after you do fill out all this information, and again, it's not going to take you more than 5 or 10 minutes, you will receive an email, and again in your inbox. So you're going to want to click on that, and you're gonna receive that confirmation email and follow the instructions that you receive there to initiate and finalize your Community Connect app. So again, I've already signed up. I'm going to log in here. It takes me right to my sign in. And once we sign in, we're going to go here and we're going to we're gonna put in a destination. So again, if you've already logged in, you're a member of the you sign up the Community Connect app, you can start here and you can start this is where you can plan your routes. You just put in your starting point and your destination and it will create the route for you. And so here I've already started that. We're gonna go from the Andover downtown or the MB train station to 800 Federal Street, which is Schneider Electric. So let's go. And once you do that, it's going to give you a few options over here. So you can see if you wanted to, if there's anybody carpooling that you could, if there were people carpooling, you could reach out to them and join the carpool, or you could start your own. If you chose to walk, and they would give you that route option. And also if you're going to bicycle, it'll give you any of the options. And I'm having difficulty seeing the whole screen because of once you do that, it should open up your options. And then it will give you the route, and you can click on the route and it'll give you the it might there might be two different options. I don't know why I'm not finding that now, but you can save the commute as well. Anyway, when you sign up, you'll get into these details a little bit more. I'm struggling here. I don't want to hold up the webinar. All right, I think that's how to sign up and the basic information that you're going to see in the Community Connect app. There's also a phone portion of the app that you download that you're going to find either in the Apple Store or Google Play. And again, you download the app, you open it up, you log your commutes, and it's going to tell you how much you've saved on your carbon footprint and all that. It's got all kinds of resources. I encourage you to get in there, check it out. It's a great, great tool that you can use.
Are you ready to go back to the
And I think
presentation?
we are ready to go back to the presentation.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Sorry for that, folks. That was a little awkward. I stop sharing my screen.
Okay. And now we're back.
Okay. So now we are back. So after you've signed up for the Community Connect app in April, we're going to go to the next screen. And as you can see, okay, never mind. In May, so the reason why we encourage you to sign up in April is because in May is National Bike Month. It's again, it's a national initiative that was started by peoplesforbikes.org, one of our lobbyists on the good side of things. Anyway, so National Bike Month. We have the MBTMA Bike Week Challenge. We're going to encourage you to bike to work during that week of between the 12th and the 16th. But if you sign up any time during that week, anytime between the Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 18th, the week prior, you will the first 30 people to sign up, you'll receive a free t-shirt. And then every day you log your commute, whether it's by car, by bicycle, by public transportation, walking, whatever your trips are that you take during that week, you log them in the Community Connect app. And then on a daily basis, MBTMA will be having a raffle for a $25 gift card of your choice. You can choose Amazon, REI, or LL Bean gift card. So that's a pretty good, incentive to commute for the week. And again, something that we look forward to.
That's bike month, that's bike week, so those trips are logging bike trips only during bike.
Oh, it's
during
just bike tips. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give you some misinformation there. Thank you for correcting me. I had said that in the previous one and I thought I was wrong. So anyway, thank you for that. So it's bike trips only, but in the app you can log any commuting trips. So again, in the MBTMA events will be continuing, the tune-up events will be continuing in May at your place of work or your residence center. And a lot of times those emails get lost. I don't know how many times I'll be doing one of these events and people approach me and, with no information and no idea that the event was occurring. So it's always going to be in your inbox 2 or 3 times before the events happen. Please sign up for these events. These are, again, a great benefit and perk for you, provided by your place of work. And if you don't use them, they may go away. So some final thoughts again, just to reiterate or review what we've gone over. April is Earth Month, Green Up Your Life. Think about some things that you can do to not only use your bicycle more, which is a great way to reduce your carbon footprint and benefits to yourself as well and your health. There's no such thing as a low carb diet when you are biking on a regular basis. You want to, fuel. Food is fuel. So look forward to that. May is the Bike to Work Week Challenge, the MBTMA Bike to Work Week Challenge, and National Bike Month. Again, look for ways that you can use your bicycle to do those short trips. Any trip 2 miles or less is as fast on a bike as it is in your car when you go door to door. And it's also when your car is least efficient, so you're having the most effective reducing your carbon footprint. And then also in May, moving forward, we're going to have webinar number 3. These are things that you can get there by bike, things that you can do for route planning. We're going to talk in more detail about some route planning and the map where the MBTMA is putting together an interactive map that will be on their website where we have a lot of the common routes that you'll be using for your commuting and daily use on there, plus also a lot of the local rail trails. And we're going to be talking about ways that you can plan your summer vacations to include bicycles and your family and getting them out on the bicycle. For example, how many times, as a kid, did we decorate our bikes for the parade? So a lot of small communities throughout New England have a 4th of July parade or a holiday parade. We're going to encourage you to decorate your bikes and join the parade, things like that. So we look forward to that webinar as well in May, and we'll be sending out information. And again, those will be coming in your inbox. Check and sign up. And that's all we have for the information today, for the most part. And I'm sure I may have glazed over some things, or you have questions to start with, or you may have had some questions arise as we went through the webinar. So we're going to open it up now. If anybody has any questions, please feel free. I see we have 3 people participating at least.
I have to unmute everybody, so I have to just grab that.
And Andrew, you're usually you've usually come up with a question or two as we.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I do have some questions, but honestly, I need to make sure I can unmute everybody first. So hang on. There we go. And unmute. Unmute. Unmute.
I had myself muted, by the way.
Oh, you did. Okay, well, good.
But thank you for doing this presentation. I don't have any particular questions as I'm a little bit too far for the commuting thing right now where I work, but but I do enjoy cycling and I enjoy your presentation. Thank you for the insight.
Oh, where is you? Okay. How far is your ride from?
It'd be like 20-something miles. I'm from Hampstead, New Hampshire and I have to go through Lawrence to get there, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Definitely through Lawrence.
I'd rather do scenic riding.
I'm in Plastow, and I've commuted to Lawrence to like the eastern side of Lawrence. Yeah, there's not really. a good way to get through there. But I still would encourage you to look at
Yeah, I'd probably go
Yeah.
through Haverhill and so forth to get out
do your local,
125.
start to look for some of your local, you know.
Yeah,
local-
when I lived in lived in Haverhill for a little while. I would commute to Andover from there, through
Right.
Oxford and stuff. And then when I lived in North Reading, I was able to go diagonal across, zigzagging over from Haverhill
Mhm.
Street when I was in North Reading. But yeah,
And
no, it
and
was
here's
nice.
some things I discovered when I was managing the YMCA had a nonprofit bike shop in Lawrence for a while that I managed. There are some bike paths in Lawrence that can help you um meander east to west through the
Okay,
city. So there are some ways that you could look through in Essex Street, and there's a couple of one-way boulevards that are quite bike friendly. Essex
okay, something
and
to look into.
the one that goes the other direction. And along Essex Street, there's some great restaurants and coffee shops. So explore Lawrence as well.
Yeah,
And then also in Lawrence, you can pick up the north-south quarter of what then becomes the Salem and Methuen Rail Trail. It's
I'm
not
very familiar with that one. Yes,
it's not really
it's not
developed
really
in Lawrence
connected
yet,
up
but
and
you can pick
right
it
away,
up
but yeah.
right there where the Polotech factory used to be.
Yep. No, I'm familiar with that area.
And then you
And
can go, eventually that's going to connect to the Canadian border. That's the goal of that. But you can
well,
certainly go as far as the airport, Manchester airport, you can get to
mhm,
easily on the rail trail, which is pretty crazy.
yeah,
So
which I expect to do the northern part this summer. I
Okay.
want to explore that.
Are you familiar with the trail at all?
Oh yeah, I go up to
Yeah, so the
from
section to
Salem to
go
Derry often.
to go from Derry to then reconnect to the Londonderry Trail, you have to kind of there's a way you do it. If you want to connect with me offline, I can explain that to you. But you have to get off the trail and meander through a neighborhood.
Right. Yeah,
At,
that's why I
at this
expected that
point,
because I've explored that a little bit and I know it picks up on the other side, so I can
yeah,
get there.
yep,
My bike can handle the streets fine.
yeah, they're developing that trail section, but it's still, I've ridden my bike through there. It's pretty hairy
Mhm.
with as far as like glass and things.
Oh yeah.
There's been homes.
Larry, we want to make sure that you, since like a lot of times you're riding for pleasure or trails, make sure you log those trips in Community Connect
Mhm.
and sign up because it'll be great for you'll be able to get into that program and then to log your trips and get into the raffle because we're all kinds of bike trips, not just
Not
bike
just commuting. Yeah.
commuting can
Okay.
be logged. So, want to make sure that folks know that. So that'll
Yeah,
be
and I
great.
kind of stumbled through that portion of the presentation, but it really is an amazing tool. I was quite impressed with it once I signed up and got into it.
All right.
So
Well, thank you very
And
much.
it will
Well,
sync with Strava. So if that's something again you
I
can.
I use that periodically. Yeah.
Yeah, so Strava is something that a lot of people use for their training now.
Hmm.
and also, I noticed that you're working at FISA, so make sure that you're talking to all of the bike aficionados that you know there,
Hmm.
or actually any of your coworkers, and make sure to tell them about the Community Connect because they can find a carpool if they're not into biking,
Right.
or using the train, and there's
Hmm.
a lot of other opportunities for folks, or even if they just are, like they want to bike, but they're not, comfortable with biking a long distance, they can, certainly drive to like a park and ride lot, and then they can, or to the Ballardville train station, and then they can, ride the last, few miles over to FISA. So, and we,
Actually, the closer to the company is actually the most dangerous.
yeah,
Between the windy road along the river or coming in
Oh
from
yeah, that I don't.
125. Because
There's
when
I
I
no
lived
good way to get there
because when I
from
lived in North
Ballardville.
Reading, it was very difficult. Like you had the multiple lanes with the large trucks if you're going out 120 towards 125, and then if you got the big trucks still traveling along the river at times, it gets a little touchy along there. But
yeah,
everybody's usually respectful, and I
yeah.
didn't have any incidents, but
No, I
it's a
agree.
little sketchy.
It is not, especially with those market basket trucks, it's,
Yeah.
like, like coming down, Ballardville Street there. That's the touchiest, I think like from the Ballardville train station, it does get a little narrow there, but I haven't noticed like as much of the truck traffic there. It
Well, yeah,
seems,
they don't allow trucks. I think that's River Road.
I just wish there was a little connector that got you to that next industrial park, the one
Yeah.
right beside it. That would be awesome.
I completely agree with you. It's something we've talked to the town of Andover, about it, but until they really start to develop that area a little more,
Hmm.
it's unlikely that
I
they're
know.
going to be able to do something there.
I know one time
connecting-
I cut through somebody's business and crossed over, but when I realized, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this all the
But
time.
connecting that Ballardville section of town to the downtown is a priority on the town of Andover's agenda.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
but in the
Something they
future,
are
yeah.
working on.
But
Yeah,
he's at Pfizer, so he's
I
down.
understand that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no good way to get from the train station to Pfizer.
Yeah, it's tough.
Not yet, but that's
Yeah.
okay. But thank you
well,
guys. Appreciate it. I have to
You're
jump to
welcome.
another meeting.
Thank you for
but
thank
Okay,
you
well,
appreciate it.
thank you so
participating
much.
as
It
well.
was great to talk to you, Larry. Take care.
Take
And I
care. I'll
don't
see you
think
guys
Bob-
in April.
Okay,
All
sounds
right,
good.
thank you. I appreciate your
Take care.
participation as well. Have a
Bob,
great
how
day.
you doing? Do you have any questions? Good to have you here.
Bob is still muted. I hope he didn't.
Let me
Bob's
see if
still
I
with us.
can unmute you.
No, I think he probably muted. He may have muted himself. Do you have the ability to override that? But we're at our pretty much at our time anyway.
Yeah. Bob, I don't know why I can't unmute you right now. Let's see.
Yeah, he may have been called away or
No, he's I think he's here. I just trying to.
Bob, can you raise your hand so we know you're still here?
It just allows me to ask him to unmute. All right. Well, Bob, if you have a question, feel free to contact Dave at dave@peddlinfools.com, and he can, answer anything. So great that you're continue to be able to participate. We love having you. And, look for the next webinar coming up in May on May 22nd from 12 to 12:45. And, we'll be sending out information in early May about that webinar. And, hopefully you'll be able to join us for Bike to Work as well. So good to see you. And that's going to conclude today's webinar. Dave, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. Great job as always. And we'll be checking in with everyone, as the April events come forward. So take care, everybody.